Minutes from now, Travis County officials, they're going to be celebrating their new exits out of Steiner Ranch. Back in 2011, there was a wildfire that destroyed several homes in Steiner Ranch, and there was a massive evacuation effort, and it took hours to get everybody out. Created a horrible situation for a lot of folks. Well, here we are 13 years later, and, they're finally getting around to doing the ribbon-cutting ceremony for this new exit out of Steiner Ranch.
It's kind of infuriating to me because, we saw how bad that fire was in 2011. 23 homes destroyed. Took some people 7 hours because there was one egress point. Now, what if in these 13 years since that fire, we had another one? And instead of 23 homes, it was 23 lives. Travis County, as far as I'm concerned, they wasted year after year after year. So I'm from out there in that not too far. I know a lot of people live in Steiner Ranch. Nobody I talked to was saying, no, we don't want a second exit point. Everybody was like, we can't have this happen again. 13 years later, they're patting themselves on the back in Travis County as though they've finally done something. Well, good for you. We're glad that nobody died in the Baker's dozen years.
We need that exit. Yeah, they should have got it a long time ago, that's for sure. It's as if Steiner Ranch kind of just snuck up on everybody.
Right.
Oh, look, there's a whole neighborhood out there.
Some people over there.
Shane is in Lago Vista on the other side of the lake. Shane, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to thank y'all for covering this story. I'm a city councilman in Lago Vista.
Yeah.
I just brought a similar agenda item a month ago to Lago Vista. We have really one way in, one way out. 1431 is the only way to town. I was surprised how much pushback I received on even having this discussion from local officials. People concerned that, in their words, they think the public are maybe not smart enough to hear about an exit route and then not use that exit route if it isn't the safest route. And I think I look at this Travis County issue and I wonder, had they not made it about climate change, would they even have moved forward with it? Why is it easier to talk about social issues than it is about people being able to protect their lives in a state of emergency?
Listen, man, Lago Vista lives matter, right, Shane? Yeah, so whenever you present this idea, what kind of pushback? Who's pushing back?
I had some local emergency management officials. They didn't want me talking about it because they thought that wasn't my purview as a councilman. I was sad to hear some local neighborhoods. They simply just didn't want a road cut through there because they didn't think people would only use it during an emergency. They just didn't want more traffic in their neighborhood. And I felt like I had to remind people, when you're talking about saving people's lives, I think we can deal with a little extra traffic.
Now, listen, Steiner Ranch, Rolling Hills, a lot of people living there, that sort of thing. But in Lago Vista, in fact, I drove through Lago Vista just this past weekend. The wife and I were out in the hill country doing some thrifting and estate sale stuff, and we came back on 1431 after leaving Marble Falls. And you get to, you start to get into the Steiner or the Lago Vista area, and the rolling hills and the beautiful trees. It's the lush landscape is truly amazing, and I can only imagine what the threat of a wildfire is in Lago Vista, Shane. What kind of reports are you hearing from fire marshals and things like that?
I'm hearing we are at a high rating for a wildfire. And actually, I've experienced it myself and I've heard others. They're starting to receive letters from home insurance companies that are not renewing their policies because they say we have too high of a threat of fire. So to me, that makes it even more important that we're planning for it. And people really need to be prepared to think about what are your routes in and out of a town. You think about even just yesterday, smaller emergency, but people didn't have Wi-Fi and they freaked out because they didn't plan for how they're going to communicate with one another. We have the hurricane down in Houston. People need to think about what they're going to do in those situations. So we're at a high risk in Lago Vista. It's something that we need to think about, and we can't afford to wait 10, 13 years like Travis County did up in Steiner Ranch.
I know this may not be part of your nature, just talking to you here just a few minutes, but you may need to call Bridget Shea and remind her that the climate emergency affects Lago Vista as well. You may have to put that hat on just to get her attention to help you with this. You know what I mean?
I'll try all
put on that pink hat.
I won't hear back.
Put on the pink hats on. That'll get their attention.
The pink hat.
Yeah.
Listen, I did so many stories over the years here at KLBJ about the Austin Fire Department going and sitting down and talking to city leaders, saying time and time again, it's not a question of if, but when the big wildfire rips right through the heart of Austin. We're ranked, I think, fifth in the nation for catastrophic wildfire chance. First outside of the state of California.
Yep.
It's a big threat. And so Shane's right. They need a little attention up there as well. I just hope it doesn't take 13 years for it to happen.
Lago Vista's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of a little jewel of the hill country. It's a real. When you drive through there, Shane, it kind of looks like the rolling hills of Maui. You know what I mean? It's got, you could actually go, you get lost in it. It's that beautiful. Hey, Shane, keep us up to date. If you get any progress, call back, please. Yeah. Let us know.
All right. Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
You. There you go. Shane, what was his last name? Saum? Am I wrong on that, Vandy? Can you tell me that?
Right.
Am I right? Just Saum.
Yeah,
okay.
Shane Saum, yeah.
Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Lago Vista having just that one road in or out.
It's a little secret. I don't want too many people knowing about the beautiful place because, people move there, that sort of thing,
The justification that he gave, though, that some people push back because they don't think people would be smart enough to know to use a second route, that's maybe the most absurd argument against anything I've ever heard.
Pretty offensive, really.
Yeah. Certainly lives are at stake. You want to make sure they can get out, whether or not they know about it.
Yeah. It is